Hello, everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are completely skipping the boring theory and jumping straight into a really brilliant case study. We're going to decode a real-world, highly aggressive 15-year wealth plan that is designed to hit one very specific, ambitious target: 1 crore, 1 lakh, and 31,000 rupees. Yep, that's exactly 1 crore, 1 lakh, 31,000 rupees.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. It sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? But we're going to ask and answer the core question right now. Can someone starting their investment journey at a young age actually build a 1 crore portfolio in just 15 years? Well, if you're curious about exactly how the mechanics of this kind of aggressive wealth creation work, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to look at the exact numbers, the exact funds, and the exact strategies used. So, let's dive into it.
To keep things simple, we've broken this down into 5 quick chapters today. First, meet Shreya and the goal. Second, the 1 crore SIP strategy. Third, the 5-fund equity engine. Fourth, measuring risk. And finally, mastering diversification.
Let's get things off with Chapter 1, Meet Shreya and the Crorepati goal.
Okay, so here is the foundation of our case study. Meet Shreya. She's just 23 years old. Her primary goal is massive long-term wealth creation, and she's given herself a strict 15-year timeline to actually pull this off. But here is the absolutely crucial point: her risk capacity. Because she's so young, Shreya has the ability to take on a very aggressive risk mode. She has the time horizon to basically ride out massive market waves and recover from eventual crashes. I literally cannot overstate this enough. This high risk tolerance is the absolute bedrock upon which this entire 15-year blueprint is built.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, the 1 crore SIP's strategy.
The structure here is what actually makes this whole thing work. She doesn't just set up a simple monthly payment and forget about it. To kickstart this investment engine, Shreya begins with a lump sum investment of 25,000 rupees. From there, she commits to a super consistent monthly SIP of 15,000 rupees. But wait, here is the ultimate twist, the real game changer, the step up. Every single year, she increases that monthly SIP amount by just 1,000 rupees. I know, it sounds tiny, right? But that disciplined consistency is where the true power lies. It forces you to align your investments with your growing income, turning what is usually a psychological hurdle into a totally automatic wealth generator.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates the real magic of compounding. Keep in mind, we aren't even assuming crazy unrealistic returns here. Even at a very moderate equity return of 12.62%, look at that acceleration. By the 5th year, her money grows to 14 lakhs. By the 10th year, it more than triples to 43 lakhs. But notice that massive jump at the end, that classic hockey stick curve effect. In those final 5 years, the compounding absolutely explodes, effortlessly carrying her right past that 1.01 crore mark by the end of year 15. The math absolutely works, as long as the discipline is there.
Let's look under the hood now. Chapter 3, the 5-fund equity engine. Because Shreya is young and aggressive, her portfolio is fundamentally a 100% equity-oriented approach. There is absolutely 0% allocated to debt instruments. Nothing. However, if you zoom in a bit, you'll see a really smart tactical move. The actual investment is 94.21% in pure equity stocks, while 4.43% is held in cash. Now, this isn't an accident. That cash buffer is a brilliant safety net kept specifically for emergencies, or more importantly, to deploy as dry powder when the market takes a sudden dip. It's a pure growth-oriented approach for sure, but with a highly strategic safety valve built right in. And honestly, the heart of this plan lies in its simplicity. There's zero confusion here. The portfolio is divided into exactly 5 specific mutual funds, including names you probably know, like Bandhan, Invesco, Kotak, and NJ. Each fund receives exactly an equal 20% allocation. So why is this equal allocation so smart? Well, it completely removes the emotional guesswork. You aren't trying to constantly pick the best fund every single month to pour extra money into. It's a clean, decisive, and perfectly weighted setup that stops you from overcomplicating your own investment process.
Now for a bit of a reality check in Chapter 4, Measuring Risk and Performance.
Before we look at the shiny performance numbers, we really need to understand a critical metric called drawdown. Drawdown simply measures how far a fund has fallen from its highest peak. So why does this matter to us? Because markets will crash. It's inevitable. Knowing your drawdown helps you mentally prepare for exactly how hard your portfolio is going to get hit when those bad days actually arrive.
Let's look at the actual 5-year historical data for this specific portfolio. The rolling returns, which show consistent performance across all the market ups and downs, sit at a pretty stellar 23.16%. However, look right next to it at the drawdown. It's at negative 22.47%. What this means in plain English is that Shreya has to be mentally prepared to see her portfolio drop by over 22% at any given time without panicking and pulling all her money out. High returns absolutely demand the stomach for high volatility. There's just no way around it. But here's the silver lining. Despite that 22% drop potential in the short term, the historical data reveals something genuinely spectacular. Over a full 15-year time frame, the probability of seeing negative returns with this strategy is exactly 0%. Zero. It is an incredibly reassuring sign that a long-term time horizon effectively neutralizes short-term market crashes. If you can just hold on for the full 15 years, the historical odds of losing money literally vanish. All right, bringing it home with Chapter 5, Mastering Mutual Fund Diversification. This brings us to a huge trap for a lot of investors: portfolio overlap. Imagine you go out and buy 5 different funds, thinking you're being super smart, but all 5 managers end up buying the exact same company stocks behind the scenes. You might think you're diversified, but you aren't at all. You are completely exposed. If those specific stocks tank, all 5 of your funds tank simultaneously. Overlap basically destroys the entire purpose of diversification. But Shreya's portfolio brilliantly avoids this trap. When we check the matrix for her funds, the absolute highest overlap is between the Bundan Large/Mid-Cap Fund and the Invesco Contra Fund, sitting at just 29%. Every single other combination in her entire portfolio is in the safe single digits. Guys, this is the definition of rock-solid diversification. You are truly getting different baskets for your eggs, not just different color labels slapped onto the same basket. And that safety extends directly to the actual sizes of the companies she's investing in as well. Look at this market capitalization balance. It is almost a perfect equal 3-way split: 35% in large cap, 34% in mid cap, and 30% in small cap. It's genius. Large cap companies bring that heavy, giant stability to weather the economic storms. Small cap companies bring the explosive, aggressive growth potential, and mid cap sits right there perfectly in the middle. This beautiful balance minimizes risk while leaving plenty of room to maximize those high growth returns. The final layer of defense here is the sector strategy. If you dump all your money into just one industry, that's called concentration risk, and it's dangerous. Here, the portfolio strictly caps its biggest sector, which happens to be the banking sector, at a maximum of just 11%. It's followed closely by pharmaceuticals and finance, but ensuring no single sector crosses that 11% threshold is an incredibly smart defensive move. Think about it. If banking takes a massive hit tomorrow, 89% of her portfolio is completely shielded from the blast. So Shreya is completely ready to go. She has a highly aggressive, deeply researched, data-backed engine driving her 15-year journey to over 1 crore rupees. The math checks out, the risk is perfectly measured, and the diversification is virtually flawless. So the only question left today is for you. What is your roadmap to 1 crore? Take a minute today, look at your own investment strategy, and ask yourself honestly if your wealth engine is built this well. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.